Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We are Baltimore positively into Joe Flacco homecoming week. The Cleveland Browns are coming to Baltimore this week, and the Ravens are 0-1. And I'm doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour next Tuesday at the Beaumont in Catonsville. Life will be great in the 21228. Hopefully the Ravens will be 1-1 at that point. We'll be eating delicious food with the Councilman Pat Young, who's running for Baltimore County Executive. Also, my pal Chad Kaz is going to come out and discuss democracy and seventh grade social studies. And I'm hoping to have a couple other guests. I got some good stuff going on. We're kicking it off. We're going to have the Ravens scratch-offs for the first time next Tuesday. And, of course, tastiness continues. And as I welcome Leonard Raskin in from Raskin Global. I'm wearing my Raskin Global shirt in the aftermath of the disaster on Sunday night. This is what I do to salve my purple wounds. I do purple therapy here after losses like this. I've been known for this for 27 years, whether Chad Steele likes it or not, is I have peach cake. So this, at least for now, this
something to soothe the pain.
Listen to me. I'll have to do pumpkin something next month because there's no peach cake next month. So you got like this week to get to the Fenwick. It is on my list of tastiness and the 27th anniversary of everything we're doing with Curio Wellness. I want to give them some love as well. But I am counting down food this week. So I know a lot of times you eat, it makes you feel better. It makes me feel better. And I'll just say, like, we all need to feel better after what happened. Now, I could be Monty Hall with you, Leonard Raskin, and say, do you want door number one and talk about Saturday night's glory and joy and almost seeing a no-hitter but seeing this Oriole Magic? Or do you want to do Josh Allen and the Ravens defense after 11 p.m. for adults only?
Yeah. I'll let you pick the door. I'll walk through it.
Well, let's do football, man. Football's
right, let's do football.
Football's a rare game.
Unbelievable collapse. I'm here with the wife and the boy. We're watching the game. It was phenomenal. Everything right. Defense couldn't stop them. It was obvious. They stopped them a few times, which is all they needed. 40-25. How could they lose? I said, you know what? We've been up this far before. But with 4 minutes to go, you think they got to put this away. And then a drive that doesn't work. And punt and a score. And I said, okay, you get the ball, 2 minutes to go. All you need is a first down. Fumble. Score. They're down 2.
Punt, fumble, punt.
I said, all you need is a first down. And then what had been working for 59 minutes or 58 minutes, for some reason, they decided to not do that. So Derrick Henry, Lamar, Derrick Henry, Lamar, Derrick Henry. No, we do a end around to Zay Flowers, who falls down. He had a great game, and then falls down with no gain on second down. And then, okay, I get the throw to D-Hop. That's fine. 8 yards. You have got to put Lamar in the position right there with 2 yards to go to win that game. Harbaugh says after the game, if we don't make it, they're in field goal range. If you don't make it, they're in field goal range. If you get a first down, the game's over. If you punt to them, they're in field goal range because your defense for the last 10 minutes has sucked air. Terrible call. I'm saying it. Terrible call. Dreadful.
So you would have gone on fourth down?
Absolutely. You got Lamar and Derrick Henry. Lamar runs backwards 30 yards and forward 50. You're telling me he's not getting 3 yards? Derrick Henry's not getting 3 yards there?
There's a lot of things that are the Bills were curious to me, and I brought this up with Luke earlier at Baltimore Positive, that when Josh Allen had the 2-point conversion, they threw the ball.
Yep.
And I'm like, the whole idea of having this offense in regard to having either – and they're not the same offenses, but having a quarterback that can run you over or run by you or extend the play long enough that a run could turn into a pass or some sort of option, but that you don't have an option at the goal line with a 2-point. I mean, that's your market advantage in the world that manage and finance. Your advantage is having this mobile quarterback and then not taking and then neutralizing that. And worse than that for the Ravens in the circumstance you're talking about,
Yep.
taking Derrick Henry off the field on second down.
Yeah. Punt, fumble, punt. That last drive, all you need is a first down. The game's over. I give the ball to Derrick Henry. I give the ball to Derrick Henry. And then I give the ball to Derrick Henry. I'm pretty sure in that moment, he's going to find a crease and he's going to find a first down. And then we take a knee because they have no timeouts.
Or I fake the ball to Derrick Henry and run Lamar.
I let Lamar run. I got thunder and lightning.
They got two plays. There's two plays.
The zone read was working all night long.
I got to do my Charlie Ekman here because I got two plays. Hold on. Let me tell you, leader, there's two plays. South Pacific and put the ball in the hole.
There you go.
That is classic Charlie Ekman I just gave you there.
You know what?
Really
you know what? We get Lido Mitchell up the middle. If it doesn't work.
By the way, I've been chasing the 75 Colts for a month. I'm zero. Lydell, Burt, I'd love to have. They're coming to town this week, right?
I'm throwing to Don McCauley, and if it doesn't work.
Are you going Saturday to the 75 Colts thing?
I don't know about this thing, no.
What? It's at Union Brewing this Saturday in the afternoon.
I don't know about
because we're all old now.
Right.
Did you go to any Colts games, or were you never went to?
Just a couple, because we were poor. Okay. We were really poor, and I didn't go to football much. I watched football then when you could, but I wasn't a.
But you went to a handful
of Colts games, yeah, and it was dreadful when they drove away.
Yeah, I went to a lot of Colts games for a person my age.
No.
So the 75 Colts to me, I found my ticket stub from the I did. I found my ticket stub from one of the games, from the Jets game. 52-19, big win, man. Birth to Roger Carr, birth to Glenn Dowdy, baby. Let's go.
Roger
hey,
Carr
diddle.
With those ears, man. He did it.
See, at least I promoted the 70. You were the one that mentioned the Colts and hey, diddle. I thought you knew about this.
No, I didn't, but you can't lose that game. The only good news is we're tied with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I know. But the Steelers and the Bengals looked okay. Hey, Flacco looked okay, and the Browns play defense, and we lost this game last year to the Raiders.
End of the game interception, for Joe. Wasn't his fault. Bounced off a guy, went to another guy.
Well, let's go back to 11 o'clock on Sunday night.
Game was over.
How were you feeling about the team now that we've urinated out all the bad and all the awful that happened in the last 5 minutes? I mean, there were so many things that went right.
The only team that can beat the Ravens is the Ravens, and they proved to do it again. I don't know what happened to Todd Monken. Did he die before the last three series? He called great plays. What was it, a screen pass? It was effectively a screen pass to Zay Flowers with Ronnie Stanley out there blocking on the edge.
And they pulled the other guard too.
Right, and knocked those two guys on their ass. Instead, we give an end around to Zay with no blockers. Who's calling these plays at the end of the game?
The misdirection is really something when everybody on the line's going right. And it can either be Derrick Henry or Lamar maybe going to the right.
I'm not giving that ball
or maybe
to Zay
going
Flowers.
to the left.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I know he's gotten a couple yards on that thing, but at that point in the game, I'm going with bread and butter, thunder and lightning. Lamar and Derrick King are the only two touching the ball. That's me. They know it's coming. They knew it was coming all night. They couldn't stop it. They're not going to stop it. We're going to win the game with our billion-dollar backfield. And the fact that we didn't is dreadful. And then, of course, I had to watch the post game because I had to hear BS questions to Harbaugh that he answered with, we'll get better.
Well, there's nobody in the room to ask the questions.
I know. But
Chad Steele has made sure that real journalists and people that
were four questions, and then he walked off. Okay, that's all. We're on.
Well, the podium stream didn't work either.
Yeah, that was Lamar. Something happened weird.
Yeah, it broke. So.
But Marlon, I think Marlon said it best, right? We got to figure out how to win games. We got to put this away. We had a couple like that last year, but you can't drop 15 points
The thing about it's September, man. I'm not jumping off of anything, and
No, but not at
I'm
all.
going
But
to spank
it's
them real
Super Bowl
hard
or
this week
bust.
about
It's
everything
Super Bowl or bust, man.
about their
That's it.
sleaze and their ease and their integrity and their
It's
accountability
Super Bowl or
and their web
bust, and this
stream.
is
All of, so
this is
Super
0 and
Bowl or
1.
bust is about January.
Yeah, but you don't get there if you don't win in September. You might have to go to Buffalo now in the playoffs because of that. You lost the tiebreaker right there.
Not might, probably will.
Well, you got to win the division and see what happens. Who
So,
the hell
So
knows?
Luke and I played this out. Let me play this out because we played it out once and we did it hours into our
Right?
conversation
Sure,
on Monday morning.
sure.
So, Ravens have the Browns this week. Okay,
Yep.
they win, fine.
Better.
Then Detroit, they didn't
Yep.
look so good. They,
Nope.
whatever.
Nope.
They better be 2-1 getting on the plane to Kansas City.
You darn right.
Okay, so that means they have to win. They've now put themselves in this position. If they're 1-2 and they're going to Kansas City,
It's
so
tight.
what? So what happens if they're 2-2 after Kansas City? What if they're
It's
3-1?
okay.
Whatever they're
It's okay.
Buffalo, their next 6 games, they don't have games. They're playing the Jets. They're
Well,
playing
everybody has.
little.
I
They're
mean, they
playing the
have their
Dolphins.
division,
I
right?
mean, they're going to be 5-1,
Yep.
6-0. They are. I mean,
Yep.
injury aside, they're going to be 5-1 or 6-0. That's what they're going to be. I don't know what the Ravens are going to be. I'm afraid the Ravens might be 3-3 because
We'll
of the
see.
schedule
Yep.
and where
It's
they
tough.
are.
It's tough. I looked at the schedule. Saw a piece that ranked the winning percentages of the teams you're playing against. Whatever. I think we're fifth or sixth toughest schedule in the league.
Well, because you're in a division where the Steelers
Right.
and the
You got
Bengals are going to
3
be
and 3.
formidable
That's
and are
exactly right.
formidable.
That's
And as
right.
much as we spent the last 8 months patting ourselves on the back, mad at Mark Andrews, happy at Lamar, Harbaugh's got a 3-year extension.
Should have won that game.
They made the Justin Tucker story go away and the Mike Green thing
Loop.
and the Ben Cleve,
Loop.
like all of that.
Hit a doink.
Like it was a 1-point game
Yeah.
and the kicker was involved.
Yeah, but their 2-point conversions, they lost. They missed 3 of them. It was just a weird game. The ending was just atrocious. That's all there is to it. That's all there is. It's just atrocious.
All right, back onto a better subject. Leonard Raskin is here, Raskin Global. Luke and I have talked a lot of football. You can go check it out. It's Browns week.
Browns
Joe Flacco, all that going on.
Flacco.
And,
look, how much is Joe making? He's still playing. My God.
How much is he making?
Yeah, what are they paying him?
I think Joe's probably got 12 or 15 million on him this year.
Isn't that unreal? He got 7 years, 110 million here after the Super Bowl, and the sky was falling because they paid Joe so much money they weren't going to have any other players. 7 years, 110 million.
All right, I'm going to read you his salary here because it's not nearly as much as you think. He's
like 100 years old.
No, that's to sing for supper right now. This is a total sing for your supper dinner. Ready?
I get it.
1-year deal, base salary of $1.25 million.
Okay.
Signing bonus of $1.74 million,
so
which
3.
makes it 3. Incentives that could raise his total compensation to $13 million.
Okay. What are
roster bonus, per game active bonuses, and playing time based incentives.
Okay.
I have no doubt that Joe Linta wrote this up pretty good. Per game active bonus is $58,000 a week, up to $1 million for the season. Incentives up to $7.7 million with potential bonuses for snap percentage and wins in games he plays a significant role in.
Well, he's starting, so I think he's up to
This
10
is
million.
crazy. I want to read all this. Is fun. Playing time. He can earn bonuses for playing a high percentage of snaps in game he starts, with incentives tied to performance for the fourth and subsequent instances of meeting the requirement. He earns $75,000 for every game in which he plays 50% of the snaps, and the Browns win with a trigger. And the Browns win. They didn't win. With a trigger after the third instance of this happening, he could earn a $1.5 million bonus if he plays 80% or more of the snaps this season.
Oh my God. Okay, so Joe's going to make a few million, point being. How old is he now? I mean,
40.
He's reaching us, baby.
40.
40. God bless him. I love Joe. I think Joe's a great human. I've had nothing but great interactions with Joe over his career, in my interactions with him. He's a cool dude, great guy, seems to be a great husband, great father, and I hope he makes all the money in the world and loses to the Ravens. But anyway, it's Flacco week. Keep him in the box. He can't move. You knock him down, it's game over. All right, on to more fun things. I got to out myself here with you. All right, check this out. I have not seen the Orioles win in person in over 2 years. Every game I've gone to, they've lost.
But how many games you going to?
half a
You can't.
dozen.
Okay, you count them on two hands.
Yeah,
Okay,
this was half a dozen.
so you've lost 6 or 7. You've
I've
lost.
lost
You were like the
5 in a row.
Dodgers going into the game Saturday
Lost
night, right?
5 in a row.
Okay, go ahead. All right.
Okay. So I'm watching Friday night walk off Samuel Basayo home run. Fantastic. So I go to the game Saturday with the wife and the boy.
Now, was this planned out?
Yes.
Did you buy a
Yes.
ticket? Was it
Yes.
Cal Ripken? What
Yes.
was it?
Yes. We bought tickets for the Ripken game, all that. So,
Way ahead of time,
way
you were
ahead.
going. Okay.
We were going.
Okay.
Hoping to see Ohtani pitch, at least see Ohtani hit. He's a phenom. It's wild to see. Go to see the Dodgers. Go to see the Orioles. Go
It's
to
like
see
Babe
Cal.
Ruth seeing him.
Yeah, go to see Cal. So we get there. There's some concert at CFG, and the bike race is downtown. So traffic is hell. And they say, get there early. So we get there early. And the boy has like this problem with his foot. Every now and then his foot acts up and he has a hard time walking. It's just a thing. So it was Saturday night. It hit him. Might be the weather. Who knows? So we park right near the arena, and there's a million little girls with parents there for some concert. I don't know what it was. Not my gig. Anyway, it's raining. It's raining. We walk to the stadium. We get there. Plenty of time. We get to our seats. We get some grub.
What time was the ceremony supposed to start? 6?
6:20. Started at 7. Started at 7. Not terrible.
Well, I watched it on TV,
Yeah,
but
not terrible.
I put the pregame show on at 6. And it was very clunky with taped pieces with Rob Long and Melanie New. You know, I got the television version of it. My wife and I talked about it, and I spent a few days out last week and just kind of getting into the flow. I've been working my ass off all month, and I just said to her, you know what? We're going to be home all day Sunday watching football. Like, I like Cal, but I think I want to see it on TV. If I had a press credential, and I'm not being a dick, if I had a press credential and I could say hello to Messina, say hello to Palmeiro, say hello to my friend on the day that Davey Johnson died.
Oh,
no
my
less.
goodness. Yeah, and they did talk about it.
And by the way, I did an hour with Alan on Sunday morning after Saturday night, just on Davey Johnson, because Alan was my ballpark reporter. Alan was in all of the press conferences, he was with me for Jeffrey Mayer. Alan that was sitting next to me and Scott Garceau watching Jeffrey Mayer in 1996. I mean, we were in left field. We saw it.
It was dreadful.
I'll never forget it as long as I live.
You and me.
So the Davey Johnson thing happening on Saturday morning, he died. And my wife didn't know a lot about Davey. She's a Boston person. Didn't know. And I'm like, man, Davey's a really significant Oriole. Played with my cousin, played with Jim Palmer, won championships, the Met, and is really more famous for the Mets, right? So what a wild day. So I spent the whole morning thinking of Davey, telling Davey stories to my wife that I later told to Alan, that I haven't told to Luke yet, that I'm going to. I won't bore you with it. But like, Saturday was a baseball day. I didn't even watch college football. It didn't show up in my world.
I did, of course.
But my wife and I, like, she did say, are you sure you don't want to get out for this Ripken thing? And you know what I said to her? And I spent about a half an hour looking for my press credential from that day and my 2130 with we had a special clubhouse badge. Couldn't find it because I have so much stuff. The reason I couldn't find it is it was under glass here with the immortal Cal Baltimore Sun newspaper front for 25. It was under glass for 20. It was under glass so long it faded. And the ticket stub that I had was on, but I have it. I don't know where it is, and I misplaced it. So Jen's like,
the whole thing.
You're obsessed with this Ripken thing, and like 20. Well, like, you sure you don't want to go? Because I mean, look, my wife and I flew to Beijing with Cal and Kelly Ripken and spent 4 days with them on planes, airplanes, doing things. Like, I like Cal a lot. I've spent a lot of time. Cal's always been more than fair and honest, and I like Cal a ton. But I said to my wife, I just don't feel like being with people tonight. I didn't want to be 40,000. I didn't want to be Nasty Nestor walking around the stadium. And,
got it.
Yeah, I didn't feel social at all, right? So I watched it on TV, and I made a night of it. I mean, all the way through to the point where the no-hitter, my wife and I watching it, miraculous. Like, it was a memorable night. And I remember going downstairs after we get a bowl of ice cream late at night, and I thought to myself, Man, I wish I would have gone. I mean, it's an top 5 all-time night.
Right.
And I felt that way when the no-hitter happened because I am the guy chasing the no-hitter. So it wasn't even about Cal for me or ceremonies, or the rain factored into me big time. I
Yep.
look if it had been perfect, I probably would have gone. But
Well,
the
it was
rain
perfect.
made it like I ain't going down there and doing a rain delay. I'm
So the
just
rain
not,
went away. The
Yeah.
rain went away. The ceremony started. A lot of good dudes on the field, a lot of memories on the field. Surhoff and Musina and Palmero and Bumbry and Eddie. It was great. Jim Palmer. Seeing John Miller come back, that was surprising. I thought they might
Man, wasn't that
bump
awesome?
something in, but he's the bomb. I mean,
Man,
what a
my
great
wife and I are
voice.
sitting on the love
What a
sack in
great
front of the
voice.
TV, and Kevin Brown's
Yep, yep,
bringing people out,
yep.
and I didn't even think about Eddie. I didn't wonder why Bill Ripken wasn't there, and it was a
I
little
thought
weird.
about
Like a
that a
lot of
little
people
bit.
were right.
Not a
So,
lot.
but I
And the
didn't
family
until
was
a
there.
fan brought it up. But Brady, like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching the
So
broadcast
watching
for
that,
all this and all these pieces, but there was something when John Miller walked
it
out.
was awesome. And
John
then
Miller sat in my studio and sobbed
when he
after he was
talked
thrown out of
when
here.
he talked in broadcast, when he went to the microphone, I thought that it was just outstanding, outstanding. And then he introduced Cal, comes out in the old car, rolls around the track, beautiful.
By the way, John Miller didn't just introduce Cal. He made sure that he got an Eddie chant. He
Absolutely,
told an Eddie story
absolutely,
on Cal
absolutely.
night so
Yep.
everybody would yell for
Yes,
Eddie.
indeed, which was already happening, but yeah, it
Man,
was it was outstanding. It was
see, this is
outstanding.
what I missed out on.
Right.
I feel bad.
It was outstanding. So Raskins are at the game, had our food, watching the game. Fifth inning, had a little ice cream, watching the game. Sixth inning, seventh inning, 3-0, no hitter, starting to drizzle. This guy's pitching lights out.
Now you want to see a no hitter, right?
I don't want to see us lose to a no hitter.
Really?
I don't really care.
You
If
wanted to hit.
If we're pitching the no hitter,
Man, when you get to be
I'm
my
staying.
age
I'm
and you've
your age.
walked
I'm
out
over
of
your
no hitters
age.
and you're
I'm
obsessed with
walking
no
out.
hitters.
I'm walking out of the no hitter in the seventh. I get to the car. We get in the garage. We pull out of the garage. There's no traffic because the concert's still going on.
Hold on, you walked out of the no hitter?
You heard what I said. And I'm in the car, and it's the eighth
Dude, you're
inning.
not a baseball fan. You don't.
Stop
your
it.
card. No,
Stop
you
it.
can't walk out of a no hitter.
I just lost my baseball fan card. Anyway, we are on 83
You just
North.
lost people in traffic if you're one of the guys that walked out of the no hitter.
We are on 83 North. We get off 83 North, Delaney Valley. I'm cruising home. I am 2 minutes from my house when up walks Jackson Holiday, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 1 strike, and smashes a home run over the right field fence.
So you're home watching everything else after that.
Yes.
Ball 1, ball 12, ball
Yes.
21, all
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Hit the pit, hit Gunnar Henderson,
Yes.
all that.
And then
you
Sanchez.
walked out of one of the 5 greatest Oriole nights ever.
Yep.
Like I was trying to put paper to pen and say, all right, I'll give you Delman Young, I'll give you 21-31,
right.
and then from there we're gonna discuss whether the Messina near no hitter or the curse of the Andino. I was at that game.
Game.
The Pope coming in, if you're into such things, or Billy Joel or Paul McCartney.
So they win the game.
And you walked out.
I'm sitting on the couch in stunned disbelief. And then what did I say after that? They won because
you left.
Right, because I haven't seen them win in 6 games in over 2 years.
Oh.
So if I'd have stayed, it would have been a no-hitter, which it was through 2 outs in the ninth. They for sure would have lost the game.
Listen, if you're a hockey fan, you're a hockey fan. I'm putting you in the box for major misconduct.
There you go.
I'm giving you at least a 3-game suspension.
I never
leave
the Ravens. I never leave the Ravens early.
I'm going to do what the NFL is going to do to Lamar. I would send you an envelope and say you're fined.
Right.
This would be like, hold on,
a guy in the stands.
Yeah, right. Rex Barney, fine, imprisonment, or both.
Right. There we go. There we go.
You walked out of a no-hitter.
I did.
And walked out of Jackson Holiday and walked out of one of the 5 greatest Camden Yards nights in history.
I did indeed. I admit it. I blew
But you got to yell Eddie, Eddie, and your boy did too. Was that your boy's first time in his life that he got to chant Eddie?
Of course. He doesn't even hardly know who he is, right? I mean, he knows, but that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I wish I were there for Eddie. I wish the Orioles were kind to me, and I wish I could go say hello to John Miller and give him a hug because I love John Miller.
Right.
I thought the Ryan Ripken, the first pitch was wonderful. I thought the ceremony was a little hokey. I don't know about being there.
It wasn't that big a thing.
It was hokey. Yeah, it was a little. But I think Cal saw it as hokey and then laughed about it a little bit.
Right.
But Cal's like, it's good to be here with my teammates, and I thought, oh, look at Larry Sheets. That's Larry Sheets.
Yep.
So Paul Merrill looks like he's
ready to play
in peak physical condition.
He's doing well. The other guys looked like they plumped up a little bit. How about Griffey Jr. being there?
Yeah,
that was
Can
cool.
I tell you a Ken Griffey story?
Sure, that was cool.
This is what I do with my wife: is I tell her these stories. She's like, "You should do this on the air," and I'm like, "Well, who would I do it with?" Raskin and Luke don't want to hear my BS.
No,
so Ken Griffey Jr. is famous for hitting, and they showed
the warehouse.
They showed the ball and the spot when they brought him out, and Bonilla came out looking like he gets $1 million every July 1st.
Right? Why not?
Yeah, right. So he looked a little like Casey and the Sunshine Band. So for me, Ken Griffey, whenever I see him, this is my Ken Griffey story. 1993 All-Star game.
Yep.
And I've told you, I was in the dugout sitting next to Mark McGwire when all that happened. I did not get thrown out of the dugout. The All-Star Derby was embargoed. It wasn't live broadcast. It was taped.
Right.
It was in the afternoon, sort of late after. It was hot as hell. It was on Monday.
Yep.
Right. So, and like the gala was that night. Geddy Lee. I had dinner with Geddy Lee that night. So you don't forget any of this when you're 23 years old and you're trying to be Nasty Nestor, trying to one day have a radio station that you can brag about, and the All-Star game's in Baltimore, and your name's Aparicio, and it's so. I had a press pass, and I'm fully dedicated to spending I was downtown at 5 a.m.
Yep.
And I was there all day Monday, and I was at the stadium the minute they would let me in. The gates open at 7 a.m. I'm in there, and I literally was in the American League clubhouse, which was the Orioles clubhouse, and there were auxiliary clubhouses because there was more players and more stuff like all of that. And players were there. And again, the Orioles were well represented. Messina was there, and Elrod and some of the coaches and stuff were banging around like as assistants and BP and this and that. Greg B. Genie is the one that showed me the juiced baseballs that he hit and Gonzalez hit and told me they were baked. They were in the oven. They were warmed. Like B. Genie told me they were corked baseballs, showed me they were corked baseballs in 1990. Literally, so that's how the ball hit the warehouse. The balls were corked without question. I was told by the people who threw them and were in on it. So, but this is 32 years ago.
Right.
So Ken Griffey that morning, I'm in the locker room and I'm like, Barry Bonds is coming and John Kruk and like all of these, Tony Gwynn.
Superstars. All-Star week.
So I'm trying to make friends with people I knew a little bit, like Jeff Montgomery and people that I had gotten to know a little bit that were players, and then walking around and getting bumpers. I have bumpers from all sorts of major celebrities from that day. All the All-Star players of that, 80% of them did a bumper. Hi, this is Ben McDonald, and you're listening to the Budweiser Sports Forum. With that, I have all of that. So I was going around doing all of that, and while I'm doing it, Ken Griffey walks in, and he looks like he's got bags under his eyes, or like he's got an overnight bag, a satchel. He's carrying all of his ish in Mariners gear. He dumps it down in front of his locker, and I sit there, and I swear to God, he said this to me because I knew him a little tiny bit from saying hello. We're the same age. He's a big star at that point, but an emerging star.
Yep.
He wasn't an old guy. He was he was the kid. He was the kid with the ball cap back, right?
The kid, right.
So he sits there that morning with me, and I started talking to him, and he said, I flew in. We played West Coast. I had to take the red eye. I just got out of a cab. I'm here. He's like, hey, man, sit here and talk with me so nobody bothers me. So I sat and talked to him for like 20 minutes. I mean, just could I'll never forget it because it
Right.
just was like and this was not uncommon in that era,
Yeah,
right? Like
sure.
I looked like I belonged, I hung out, everybody knew me. People, I talked ball, you know what I mean? I
Of
talked real
course.
baseball.
Right.
I'm part of baseball royalty. His father, played against my cousin, and
Yep. Yep.
like in that era, and this, well, not really, but across that. So like, it was a different time where you just sat and talked to these guys. Ken Griffey was one of those guys I always cheered for. I always liked. So the
That's
fact that
funny.
he was there, I'm like, well, he always was one of the great guys. He
Right.
always was one of the really normal, unaffected, loved baseball, loved being an athlete, was not a jerk. It was just a decent person, like Joe Flacco, just a
Right.
really decent
Right.
guy,
Good
really decent
guy.
guy.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
There you go. Talk to me so nobody else bothers me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Hang out and talk to me so
fantastic.
nobody else bothers me.
It's
Leonard
fantastic.
Raskin is here. He will talk to you about money, about
Yes.
American dreams, about
Yes.
finance. Tell me what you do in a nutshell.
Just you said it. We help people figure out what to do with their money
How
so
not to
that
blow 15-point leads with 4 minutes left to go.
right, so that
Right.
they can go to things in their life, do things in their life, retire when they want, put the kids through college,
Walk out of no hitters when
travel,
they
walk
want.
out of no hitters, be disgusted at the Ravens at 11 o'clock at night because they're watching the game at home, not in Buffalo. Sing when the Buckeyes beat Grambling State 70-0.
What is that?
It's a
This is why I
makeup
don't watch
game.
college football anymore,
They had a
dude.
makeup game. They were supposed to have somebody
Yeah.
else who backed out on them, and so they brought in Grambling because it was
It's
the
a
only
make-out
team.
game, not a
It's the
make-up
only
game.
team that was available. Look, they got to give them credit. They only played their starters for the first half,
Yeah, I don't know.
and then after that, they played the kids
Pushover
that need to
football's no
learn.
fun.
I agree, and sadly, every team does it too much, but they have a pretty good schedule when the Big Ten gets
Look,
around.
college football's
Look,
changing, and once they figure
against
out what it is,
Texas.
I'll figure out whether I want
Yeah,
to be invested
they
in it
won
anymore.
against Texas the first game.
I'm having a hard
Okay.
enough time with the criminals, in a general sense, that run all of this, as to how influenced I should be by all of this.
Amen. Well, I
Yeah,
read last night somebody said the NFL's fixed, and the game last night was destined to end that way.
yeah, because it's just
I
because
don't
they
know
they
about
troll
that.
it all up.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
listen,
The
it's like
big, the big magic 8 ball.
I don't
Buffalo
want to
will
get too
win.
political, but there are some people on your side of the fence that when they've met me, they say, "You media all get together and figure out." Yeah, that's what we do, and
You have
that's what
nothing
CNN
else to
does
do
every
with your
morning with
time.
NBC's. Their heads get together and
Nothing else
decide
to
what they're going
do.
to make. That it just doesn't work that way. It just
Nothing
doesn't
else to
work.
do with
It
your
doesn't work
time.
that way. So,
Hey, look.
but I did appreciate that Jerry Sandusky at about 2 a.m. I was watching the late night with Pete Gilbert and
Yeah,
Keith Mills.
yeah, right.
And Jerry Sandusky did his one off. He's like, and all week long, even the podcasters, and which I'm now a podcaster,
Right.
even the podcasters and the
Yeah,
Barstool
yes, I
pundits
heard
will
him.
be
I
talking
heard him.
about, this, how terrible the loss this is. So, hey man,
It is indeed.
we didn't even beat on him too much. I'll let you do that next week, and we'll give Flacco the love. I mean, the good thing is that Saturday night did happen from an Oriole fan perspective,
Yes.
and there was Oriole magic,
Yes.
even if there was Ravens
Friday and
tragedy.
Saturday. Look, 3 against the Padres, 2 against the Dodgers. Take your money, enjoy a game. Don't walk out on a no-hitter. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, I left a no-hitter, right? You know this?
I get it.
You know that story of Bud
No.
Smith? I found the ticket the other day
Oh,
looking
my
for that
God.
2131 gear I couldn't find. When I find my 2131 gear, I'll put it all up, and
There
you will
we
get to
go.
see it. Leonard Raskin can be found out at the front of Baltimore Positive. Also, our Maryland Crab Cake Tour is back activated next week. We're going to be at the Beaumont in Catonsville. My wife had a dispute on my nastiness countdown, brought to you by Curio Wellness. I just want to say the lamb chops are delicious at the Beaumont. I will feature them next week, even though I featured the fried lobster out on the tour because I thought the fried lobster is just that good.
As good
Now,
as it
that
gets.
being said, my wife and I, Friday night, we watched Otani,
Yeah.
and we watched the Brazil football game at El Guapo in Catonsville, and I had a bowl of the chicken tortilla soup there. That's really pozole, Pozole, pozole. It's a Mexican tortilla soup. It was so good. I took another bowl home, and I insisted that it was my pregame meal. Jen's like, "You don't want chicken wings? We're playing the Bills." I'm like, "No, I'm going to get the chicken tortilla soup at El Guapo above the basement." So I love all three of them, but I picked the fried lobster tail. And I will tell you, Leonard, this is the last week of tastiness. We're doing the countdown. We're going to
I
get to
need the
number
list.
one.
We need the list.
Peach cake. Peach cake is going to be involved in this.
There we go.
And if you want peach cake, if you're listening to my voice here early in the week, go get it. It's the last week for peach cake. So by the time I feature it, it's going to be like eggnog in January. With. So
next summer.
It'll
be time for next summer.
You and me, I'm ready for some pumpkin spice, some autumnal flavor, and some.
I don't do the pumpkin spice.
More football. Well, I mean, we got to play better football. That's all. So
that's all.
All right, I'm trying to
do it. I'm trying to Flaccos. Purge it out. Got to purge it out.
Trying to find my purple mojo and my therapy here. Some people do aromatherapy. I do peach cake. I am Nestor. He is Leonard Raskin. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Big thanks to GBMC for sponsoring our new hotline around here and our guest line and all the good things and trying to keep me on the healthy side of the street. I'll be talking more about that at Baltimore Positive.